bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Well, no one has to tell you or anybody else that the housing situation in San Francisco has never been easy, and in particular, it's not that easy these days. Ed Donaldson is with us right now. He is the Housing Counseling Director, and Ed, a lot of people need counseling.
Yes, they do.
You know,
yes,
and
they do.
So forth. And now the San Francisco Housing Development Corporation is part of the plan to build more housing, affordable housing in San Francisco, right?
That's correct.
How is that coming along in this economy?
Well, it's been some difficulties in terms of, like construction lending, being able to secure that. And then some of our clients have had, some difficulty in terms of getting financing to actually, to buy their place. So, it's been some difficulties, but because of the way in which the affordable housing is structured here in San Francisco, it hasn't been as big of a problem as we, might think.
Yeah. Now, housing development, the city as the economy changed and as before the downturn, we were moving further south, in the city, further south in the city, toward the Hunters Point area and all those places where the best weather is, in San Francisco. And so people are looking at that for housing and things. And there's a conflict there between people who live out there now and developers who want to move in there. And I know the Hunters Point area, for example, those big buildings that used to be Bethlehem Steel and the rest. What's happening with all that?
Well, that's the role that we're trying to play in terms of, helping folks who live there to stay there, and also helping folks who may have moved away to be able to come back. Just last year in October, we were able to secure some housing legislation through the Board of Supervisors that actually gave those folks who were previously displaced in Fillmore and Hunters Point in the 60s and 70s a right to come back. So that law is on the books, and we're actively trying to find some of those people. So
okay, and the people who have moved out, like a lot of us who moved out of the city, trying to move back in again is a problem for everybody because of the expense of it. But that the development of that area out there, it's going to have to add more housing. But is it going to be the kind of housing that's what we see now, more high-rise type of housing rather than individual houses? Because some of those people out there, as you well know, I can tell you, have lived out there for years and years and years. And they have small homes out there, right? It's the neighborhood.
Well, there is a bit of attention in terms of like housing design and stuff, and there have been some concessions made, that the community fought for to make sure that the appropriate type of housing is built, more low-rise type of housing versus high-rise type of stuff. So.
Are you concerned now in working with people who might be afraid of losing their house? Yeah,
that's a big issue. That's a big issue. I mean, our phones are ringing off the hooks, in terms of folks who are faced with, a potential default or who may be in foreclosure already. So we're trying to help folks take advantage of the recent legislation that was passed by the Obama administration in regards to, giving them a chance to either refinance or modify. And there's some things that need to be worked out as far as that legislation is concerned. And once it is worked out, we anticipate that it could have an impact.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been affected by the fact they went in with a certain percent a loan, and all of a sudden that period of time is up, and they weren't really fully informed about it, and all of a sudden it's jumped to 5 points or something.
That's a big issue. There's a high concentration of predatory loans that were made in the southeast side of San Francisco, Bayview, Excelsior, Visitation Valley. And what's interesting is that there's been a report that came out from the Fair Lending Working Group where they stated that 667 units were lost in San Francisco to foreclosure in 2008. So one of the things that we're trying to do. That's a massive number. I mean, we estimate the value at $265 million.
Yeah, okay. But when the banks get that and loaning, they've got to do something with it then. I mean, they're holding on to them now, I understand. They're not selling them off.
Correct. There was a recent article about that. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do is just, coalesce the support in the city to craft a response in regards to possibly capturing some of these units as affordable housing. So.
All right. Well, people need someone like you to help them out, and we're just about out of time right now. Ed Donaldson's been our guest. He is a housing counseling director with the San Francisco Housing Development Corporation. Ed, nice to see you again. Let's hope these folks get help when they need it, all right?
Correct.
Okay, and thanks for watching.